I've got my cardigan on today. I saw the David Beckham documentary and I thought, that guy's got an impressive set of knitwear going on, but so have I. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Paul Reed and I'm a professional photographer. I'm going to show you some images which I took in Edinburgh yesterday. I always like to make sure that there's plenty of photographs that I put on here, not just me talking. I always want you to look at the photography and then hopefully be inspired by that photography. That's always going to be the main point of this channel. The other stuff is also just things that I'm hoping is going to help you moving forward as a photographer. Edinburgh is somewhere where I've been quite a bit, and you know, there's a whole bunch of images that I've took. I'll show you some of those now over time, and it's just such a great place to do street photography. It's very different from Glasgow. Glasgow is, I don't know, like Glasgow feels like a bit more hardcore. It can be a little bit more gritty looking. Edinburgh is just a completely different place, but is also an amazing place for street photography. If you watched last week's episode, then you'll know that I did dabble a little bit with colour photography. Me looking back at that video and looking back at those photographs, I looked at them and I just thought to myself, do you know what? They're okay. You know, the photographs, they were all right, but there was nothing startling there. And to me, it just felt as if that I was concentrating way too much on the colour and not enough on, you know, the content, what the photographs of. And it's really, my thing is capturing those raw emotions, those things that we, you know, that we connect with when we look at images. That's my main thing. And monochrome photography really allows me to do that because I'm not thinking about the colors or anything. What I noticed was, yeah, there was a great vibe going on with my images from last week. The colors were just how I wanted them and everything was great. But actually, there was nothing really substantial about those images. Looking at this image now, I really love it. It's got a really good vibe to it and everything, and I do love it a lot. And I love the colors, everything about that. It might not be your cup of tea, but I really like this image. But of course, then I decided, what does it look like in monochrome? And then here's what it looks like in monochrome. So just looking at this, I don't know, for me, it starts to say more about the person than it does about the vibe, or, you know, without those colors, I'm looking more at this in an emotional way, and I just can't quite fathom why that is. Anyway, I just thought I would show you that because I just think it's weird how monochrome photography just makes things look completely different. I think it really does make you look at things in a more emotional way, or maybe that's just me. There's something that connects me more to the actual people in the photographs rather than this overall vibe of a photograph. Shooting with that 50mm lens, or the 50mm equivalent, was just very difficult for me. I just couldn't seem to, you know, get the compositions that I really wanted straight away quickly. And this kind of brings me to this whole thing about what photographers say when they say they want to slow things down as a photographer. I've just been reading an article by a photographer called Jono. He's a great guy. He tests and also reviews Leica equipment, Leica cameras and lenses and things like that. But he's done an article which isn't really to do with reviewing or testing any equipment. It's just really, you know, his thoughts on photography, and I think it's a great read, so I'm going to put a link in the description to that. But he touched on something which I think about quite a lot because I hear it so many times on YouTube videos and on, you know, just all the time from Leica photographers, film photographers, is that these cameras are making them slow down. Now, this to me is not what I want to be doing. No, I don't want to be slowing down as a street photographer. I want to be speeding up. I want to be quicker. I want to be capturing those moments quicker, not slower. And I think, you know, slowing down as a photographer could actually make you a worse photographer. You need to be using those instincts to be shooting fast and thinking later sometimes. Jono touches on a number of things that we have in our modern cameras that we didn't have back in older cameras. Things like auto ISO, the ability to set the minimum shutter speed that we want that to go down to be able to tell it what the highest ISO that we want the camera to go to. Now these things really help get the camera out of the way, so which is also what you hear from the same photographers that are saying that these Leica cameras are making them slow down. They're also saying that the camera gets out of the way. But if you're so busy, you know, changing dials and changing your ISO, and you know you've in fully manual, and then you can't look, these things do start to get in the way. If a moment happens, it happens like that on the streets. It's so quick, and you've got to have your camera set up so that you're able to take those images as soon as that moment happens. It's the decisive moment, but you've got to be ready whenever that happens. The Q2 Monochrome for me is kind of almost like the best of both worlds, I think. So, you know, it's got autofocus on it. Obviously, you know, that can be a great thing at times, but you can also zone focus with this camera as well by putting it into manual mode. I'll touch on that again in a second. You know, things like auto ISO, you know, you can put it in aperture priority, so many things that you can do with this as a modern camera that, you know, it's just fantastic. And, you know, moving back to say the likes of the Leica M6, and you know, pretty much almost fully manual Leica M6, and that does slow you down. But saying that, you know, we're using zone focusing, so we're still setting these cameras up so that we're able to take those images as fast as we can take them. I just don't think that slowing down is the answer to becoming a better photographer. I think what we should be doing is having our cameras set up in such a way that whenever the moment happens, that we're ready, that the camera's ready to shoot, that you can just raise the camera up to your eye, compose, and then shoot. And here's the images from yesterday. Just to let you know that I've still got 2 spaces left on the 9th of November for the workshop in London. So that's a day in London, and we'll be walking around different places there doing street photography. It's a great workshop. I've had such amazing feedback from the ones that I've done in the past, and yeah, it would be just great to have one of you YouTube viewers along. So 2 spaces left on that. It would be great to fill that up. I've also got on the 28th of November Glasgow. Glasgow is an amazing place, you know, I think it is, and I've got 2 spaces left on that. It would be great to get somebody along to that as well from the YouTube community. So that's 28th of November. Lots to discuss from this episode, so definitely leave a comment. Don't forget also to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And what else have I got? If you want to support the channel at all, you can do that by going to the Buy Me a Coffee section, which is under Support the Channel. That would be amazing because it really keeps this channel going, keeps me putting these videos out there. Apart from that, I'll see you next time.